What are we going to get next? Doors, pretty much a necessity for the third phase. Value point and drones. Alright. You want to fight in my mid base? Sure, go ahead. I don't mind. Not enough. We're looking very solid here, guys. We're looking extremely solid here. Are there any requests for a run after this? I've already unlocked the Mantis Sea and the Zoltan Sea, and now I've got the Federation Sea, so if you have any other requests, be sure to get them in now. While I'm looking. We could jump somewhere else if we really want to, but I think it's probably a good idea to go and fight the flagship right now so that we've got systems to jump to. I don't have the Rock C, but we can do a run with the Rock B for sure. They hacked the engines. Ooh. Don't know about that one. The Stealth B. Alright. Okay, so now someone, I think it was Aldrich, someone in the chat was asking for advice on how to face the flagship. So we're facing it in hard difficulty, and the only real difference between easy and normal versus hard is that hard difficulty has these two rooms here, which connect the missile room and the 3-shot laser room to the main body of the ship. Having these rooms connected makes boarding the flagship much more difficult, because if you board, for example, in the missiles to take the missiles out, basically everyone on the main body of the ship can go and fight you in the missile room, which is not very good considering they have a level 3 med bay to run back to once you damage them enough. So generally the plan now is not to board them, and the next best thing that so far we've discovered is just pure DPS basically, for now. And that's really the build that I've tried to go for this one, because it really matches well with the artillery beam. So what I've done is I'm focusing down the shields with my ion weapon, basically just firing at that non-stop using auto fire. And then I've gone and attacked the missiles to try and take the missiles out, because that's the most dangerous weapon that they have in the first phase. It fires 3 missiles that each do 1 damage, and it can pierce all of your shields. So you want to take those down if you can. We've taken down enough damage in the shields to be able to come through with our halberd beam, so I'm going to fire that. Shortly after that, the artillery beam will be coming in, and hopefully that'll cut a nice swath through the middle of the ship, or maybe across like that. Do a buttload of damage. Let's see how we do. Of course, the artillery beam ignores all shields. Right now, when they're hacking our engines, our evasion is 0. If they hack the engines or helm, your evasion becomes 0. So that's actually a pretty bad place for them to hack for us, because our evasion is 0 and they can hit us with everything. Okay, the missiles are about to fire. We won't be able to cloak out in time, so hopefully we'll get some good misses in. Hopefully. There we go, 30%. Gonna go ahead and power that up. And because it's getting hacked, we can't actually man it, so our Zoltan being in there is pretty much next to useless. I'm gonna have 35 instead of the 45. Okay, it looks like we can cloak it in time. 95% evasion, not 100%, but better than nothing. Okay, pretty much the same thing when you hit with 2. And the artillery beam there defeated phase 1 of the flagship for us there. That was extremely handy. It did a nice long one and must have hit a lot of rooms there. That was very good. That was exceptional. Way to go. This ship might actually have a chance. I want to get a safety point in there, as well as probably again the drones, because our drone is pretty important. We could also get level 3 cloaking. I'm hesitant about putting 3 power in there because we want to have our defense drone active as well. But the value point in there is also pretty good. I think I'm going to do this actually, yeah. We have the scrap for it, we might as well. And we can use it if our drones go down or something. Alright, so the second phase of the flagship is arguably the most annoying to deal with. In the first phase they have no special weapons. In phase 2 they have this thing called the drone swarm or drone surge or whatever you want to say. And they, in particular, this phase uses drones a lot more. They have a boarding drone that's come to attack us. So we actually are going to prepare for that using the defense drone. And we'll also get our Ion Blast trained on their shields. But the positive side is that they don't actually have a cloaking system anymore, so our artillery beam and other weapons won't be affected by that as much. And right off the bat we missed the drone and it actually landed in a pretty important room, but I'm going to go ahead and leave him alone for now. We don't really have anyone on our ship that's very good at fighting apart from Vegeta. He's got the highest power level, I guess you could say. Yeah, not a whole lot we can do about that, unfortunately. Now I'm going to go ahead and attack with my lasers. And hopefully we'll be able to take down this weapon before it fires. Yes. Thank goodness. We've taken down the missile weapon, so now it can't fire. This power surge indicates that the drone swarm phase thing is about to start. The Slug B has an Artemis missile, a healing bomb, no med bay, 2 slugs and a teleporter. So it's definitely one of the worst ships in the game. So once the drone swarm activates, several of these drones are spawned that are not affected by the drone control whatsoever. And generally what people like to do is actually cloak this out. But we're going to use our cloak relatively efficiently here, and we're going to wait for them all to fire, which is about now. Unfortunately we've lost our oxygen, so that's going to start draining. I'm also going to fire our weapons again, this time on their drones probably. Because we've done a pretty good job of taking down their weapons, but we're going to... yeah, we're going to fire like this. Take down this weapon. And that is the second phase of the flagship destroyed. Wow. I didn't actually think this was possible. Now we need to actually get in there with 2R2 NG to make sure that we don't suffocate to death. I think boarding the flagship will still be a possible strategy. It'll just be very difficult to pull off. Thanks for hanging around, Butin. If I'm honestly cocky, we probably have this run in the bag. In 2 phases, we've only taken 1 hull damage, so this ship is actually more powerful than what I gave it credit for. Just saying. Yeah. Credit to the artillery beam for that, because that did a long cut way down the middle of the ship there at the very start of the flagship fight. And that caused the enemy crew members to sort of all go around and repair all the stuff, so they weren't all focused on repairing the missiles, which really helped us out there. Just before we go, I'm going to take a drink of water. Excuse me. Okay. Just saying. Yeah. See what I did there? I spelled it wrong, but I still saw what you did there. What do we want to get? What can we get with 40 scrap? We could get sensors or drone control. Let's get sensors for the hell of it. The third phase of the flagship starts with a Zoltan shield, and it also has mind control. We have no real way to counter mind control, so and they all can also board us. So this is probably the most dangerous phase for us for this ship, because while it's got a very powerful offense, the actual internal defenses are extremely weak. They've mind controlled one of the NGs, which isn't too bad. But yeah, what we're going to do is just wail on their shields with our Ion Blast as usual. And we might... okay, they're fighting in our mid bay, which is quite profitable. Let's go in there. And he wants to stay in there, actually. Okay. This could be bad. Yeah, our shields are not going to last long. We're going to cloak, and we're going to probably use the full cloak here, stay cloaked for 15, fully avoid the power surge that this phase has. There we go. This phase also has a power surge, but rather than drones, it's going to deploy, I think, 9 lasers from the various parts of the hull. Like so. Oh, and we actually reformed just in time to have some pain. So we're actually going to have to do that, which is quite unfortunate. Now our shields are taking a massive beating. Is that NG still mind controlled? Oh my goodness. We've got fires in the engine, so we need to deal with that. And they've sent borders onto here, so this isn't very good. We're going to have to basically DPS race. It's generally what we're going to have to do. Okay, this guy has come to his senses, and unfortunately we have lost all of our shields, and that's about to fire. So yeah, this is not good for us. Unfortunate place for them to hack. I mean, mind control. Okay, there I've now... maybe we can force them out? No. So we won't have any shields. Okay, let's go ahead and fire on their missiles. Fortunately, we missed with a lot of our shots. They're now in our mid bay. And they're taking out our oxygen. I'm gonna go ahead and cloak here. We've almost lost the Zoltan, so we're gonna go ahead and send them into the mid bay too. Okay, apparently we only had 70% evasion. Oh right, because our helmsman was mind controlled there. Good mind control. Okay, let's take out the missile weapon if we can. It's not quite destroyed. You were saying Monyan color? Ah. We only got across the line by the skin of our teeth there, guys. 30 more seconds and we probably would have lost. I basically wasn't focusing on any of the boarding actions at all there. I was mainly just focusing on DPSing them down, which is, as I've said, the main way that people tend to deal with the flagship these days. That artillery beam came in and finished the job. Bell 133, excellent suggestion to power that all the way up. That was pretty good. And that is actually my first ever hard mode victory, I've got to say. So it's pretty good to share with you guys. Yeah, cool. So that's going to be it for our Federation B content for tonight. So for those who came for that, you need stay no longer, but the stream continues. We will be playing with another ship. If anybody else has any suggestions that they would like to see played, be sure to let me know in the chat. So we've got a score of 4,951. Let's come here. That's my second best. I actually recorded this one for YouTube, so that was pretty good. This one was also excellent as well. Yeah, cool.